To begin, what we're going to do is look at the practices of drinking and how they relate to transitive effects. Remember that in the moral life, every action that's driven by an intention changes us and changes the world around us. The change in the world around us is called the transitive effect. The change within us is called the intransitive effect. So every time I drink, it changes the world around me, the transitive effect. Every time I drink, it changes me, the intransitive effect. Just think in is inward. So now what we're going to do is look how a transitive effect of someone's drinking and practice of alcohol led to the saddest, the most devastating of transitive effects, which is the death of another. And it's actually someone within the Hendrickin community. So we'll take a look at this now to remember Ryan and Ryan's life, his work as a police officer, and his legacy as a student at Bishop Hendrickin High School.
First at 5:30 tonight, we're learning more about a Jamestown police officer killed in a tragic crash. As we first told you live at 5, funeral arrangements for Officer Ryan Burke have been set for the end of the week.
Now tonight we are talking with a local priest who knew Burke when he was a student at Bishop Hendrickin High School and was there for his swearing in as a Jamestown police officer.
Eyewitness News reporter Kim Cooley has more now live from Narragansett.
Friends and family of Jamestown police officer Ryan Burke are mourning his sudden loss after an early morning head-on collision on Monday claimed his life and the life of one other man. Before he was Officer Ryan Burke, he was a student roaming the halls of Bishop Hendrickin High School.
Was a really great kid that everyone loved, someone that was respected and respected everyone and everything, was, someone that had good grades, someone that was always there, someone everyone really liked.
Father Marcel Tyone served as the school's chaplain for 10 years.
Just a real team person, someone that was genuine, kind, gentle, and I'm sure he brought that into his police work as well.
Tyone now serves as the police chaplain for the department in South Kingstown and attended Burke's Police Academy graduation just 1 year ago. It was on his 1-year anniversary with Jamestown Police that Burke was struck head-on by a wrong-way driver and killed. Tyone says although the night ended in tragedy, it began with Burke's service to the people of Jamestown.
Ryan went to work. Ryan did the right thing. Ryan was, on his way home from doing a great job, and I think that's something no one can ever change.
Tyone hopes a Hendrickin mantra, "Live Jesus in our hearts forever," will bring Burke's friends and family comfort during this difficult time.
I believe now he lives with Jesus forever, that it's not just a saying or an invocation, but it's a reality for him.
And as we told you first at 5, we've learned that the wake for Officer Burke will be held on Friday from 3 to 8 o'clock at the Ionati Funeral Home. His funeral is scheduled for Saturday morning at 10 o'clock at the Church of Saints John and Paul in Coventry. Reporting live in Narragansett with the South County Mobile Newsroom, Kim Cooley, Eyewitness News.
Right, so transitive effects means it changes the world around me. Obviously, killing someone while driving drunk is the saddest of transitive effects when someone drinks. It can also lead to domestic abuse. It can lead to domestic violence, assault, sexual stuff, all types of things, right? Those are negative transitive effects of how alcohol can shape the world around me. So one of the questions we're going to ask is this, is drinking alcohol worth it despite the negative effects of its use? And how can we minimize or limit those effects? What I want to remember is that habits make us who we are. They're those stable characteristics, those stable qualities. They're like second nature to us. So the more that I lie, the more I'm inclined to lie. That's my habit. The more I tell the truth, the more I'm inclined to tell the truth. That's my habit. The more that I am generous, the more I'm inclined to generosity. The more I cheat, the more I'm inclined to cheat. Those are habits. Those are my second natures. Those are my stable qualities. And the more I do that, the more I'm inclined to act that way in the future. So even when I'm drinking, if I eliminate the potential of the negative transitive effects, how the world around me is being changed, I'm not going to drive drunk. I'm going to stay at a friend's or get an Uber. I'm not going to drink if I have practice or work the next day. I'm not going to drink around my family or my girlfriend if I'm going to say something mean. Even if I eliminate those negative transitive effects of how the world around me is changed or shaped, my drinking is still going to change me. The intransitive effects of drinking still shape me for who I am. what you might start to do is actually develop habits that while drinking, they become so second nature to you that you're going to feel inclined to act that way in the future because it feels natural to you. So take this couple here. This couple here has been dating for a few months, but they only have real conversation with each other whenever they drink. This couple only shows physical affection for each other when they drink. In other words, drinking has become an indispensable part. It's the lifeblood of the way that they relate to each other. And when they don't drink, they feel awkward. It's difficult to achieve any type of intimacy. In other words, their drinking has led to a habit, has led to a practice that only allows them to feel comfortable with each other when they drink. It's same with friends sometimes, right? You're going to be at a college party, maybe you already have been, you're in your buddy's basement after a hockey game, whatever it might be, and the only way that you start to relate to a certain friend group is with drinking. That if the drinking's not there, in a way, like the group becomes disjointed. So one of the things to think about is how drinking shapes your relationships and shapes you the way you feel when you're involved in those relationships. Am I able to go to a party without drinking? Is drinking the only way I'm able to have any type of intimacy with my girlfriend or my friends? Can I talk about myself and feel comfortable in ways that are good without drinking? Right? These are all questions, right, that our habits of drinking shape us to answer. So our last slide and this slide really sort of get into that last question about how the intentional use of alcohol shapes us for who we are. So when you guys go to college, one of the things you're going to see is that college students tend to see real life, right, apart from this bubble that they're in, right? So maybe you got brothers coming back from school, sisters, cousins, whoever it might be, and like they have no idea what's going on in the real world because they've been in this bubble. That month after month, they're on their campus, they're eating with their friends in the dining hall, they're studying, they're having parties, they're going to games, they're living their college life, and it becomes very isolated. So what they start to see is that here's their college life, and their real life is going to start whenever they graduate. Okay, in other words, the college student sees her life, his life, apart from real life. The thing to keep in mind is that that idyllic structure, that great structure, is going to change. You leave the bubble, but the person that you are forming, the person that you are shaping, the person you are becoming while you're in that bubble is something that's going to last. So when you're in that college bubble, yes, it is going to change. The bubble will burst, you will leave the bubble, but you will leave the bubble as the person you have shaped yourself to be over those 4 years. So a girl at PC, a guy at Seton Hall, a kid at Marquette, they're drinking, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, a little Sunday brewski with the game on. Maybe Monday night they're pounding a couple beers at the college bar, right? What they're going to tell themselves is, once I leave college, once I graduate, certainly I won't do this anymore, right? Well, what they're doing is shaping themselves to be the type of person who drinks and parties almost every night of the week. Right? So what Ernie Adams, the great Patriots mind, one of the great minds and brains behind Bill Belichick, what he's going to tell his players is that there's no such thing as game day winners, that every game day winner wins at practice. So the same is going to be true for drinking. If you want to win when you leave the bubble and enter your real life, right? The question is going to be, why would you start to build a habit or a practice that you don't actually want to take with you into your real life, right? And the other key, obviously, being that college is your real life. Your real life is here and now. Okay, so one of the things to think about is when you start to form drinking patterns and habits in high school and in college, right? You're shaping who you are. And even though you're going to leave Hendricken, and even though you're going to leave Merrimack, and even though you're going to leave St. Anselm, and even though you're going to leave the college of your choice, URI, the person you are becoming stays with you. And what you're doing right now is setting yourself up in practice for whether or not you're going to win on game day. So If you don't want to be the type of person who's drinking all the time, partying all the time, getting blitzed, having your friends take care of you, waking up not knowing where you are, losing things, having risky sex, whatever it might be, it's tiring, you're getting bored of it, you say to yourself, well, you know what, I'll stop when XYZ. The question's going to be, why do you want to shape yourself to be someone now and then become another person later? So I would just say that a way to think about drinking is like, drinking isn't the steak, it isn't the meat of my life. Drinking is a garnish, right? It's something that can add to a good life. It's something that can be enjoyed well. Drinking is good. It can build good cheer with friends. It can be done celebratory. It can be enjoyed well. However, it should be a garnish. It should be a topping. It should not be my main meal, right? So I shouldn't see drinking as the meat of my life. I should see drinking as something that can add to and enhance already good things in my life.